Hey Valerie, when we take our excellent genealogy adventure and go to the genealogy show in England, I'm going to travel down to London specifically to go to their National Archives, TNG. And I'm not too worried about getting around in the archives because I'm meeting a friend who's an employee, Audrey Collins. But I'm a little concerned about going to other archives and libraries where I don't have an inside hand.
Well, I have the perfect person to help us. Our friend Luana Darby, a professional genealogist, she goes to archives all the time, and she was telling me about how she arranges her archive visits on a magnetic board. So, Luana, welcome. Thank you so much for coming, and tell us how you manage all these archive visits when you're traveling abroad.
Well, it is kind of a task to do that, but I start with a whiteboard that's magnetic and a couple little magnetic pieces of tape, and I write on there which archives I'm going. I transfer that later to a Google spreadsheet because most of the time I can access that while I'm in country and going to the archives. I put all the information in there, including an address, a phone number, an email, the hours of the archives, and any restrictions or things that are going on that I need to know about. I can't tell you about the first time I went. I didn't do that. I had no phone numbers, and it really put me in kind of a mess not having that information at hand. Having that is really important because you know whether or not you need to contact the archives first and ask for some collections to be brought for you and ready for you, or if there's any restrictions. One of the restrictions in a German archive that I've been going to for years is that you cannot they don't have a copy machine, nor will they copy the family books that they have, the lineage books that they have, because their archivists have a copyright on them. And so you either have to have paper to write it by hand, and the archivists are not going to give you that paper and pencil, or you have to have a computer to go ahead and transcribe them onto your computer. And sometimes we all think that the archives here, there's always going to be a copy machine right next to you. Sometimes there aren't, and sometimes there's restrictions. So it's good to know those things well ahead of time. And also research fees. Those are common in other countries, not so much here, but even to just get in the door, sometimes you have to pay a research fee.
Well, that is really good to know. And Daniel Horowitz, when I was interviewing him, and one of the mistakes that he said he made was not paying attention to holidays, and that there was a special closing that day, and he went to the archive, and that day it was closed. So going to their website is always a good thing, and also emailing them and letting them know that you're going to be there at a certain day, he said was a good idea. So you agree with that, I take that.
I do, and I have shown up at archives on holidays. You have to remember what these countries have a predominant religion in certain regions even of the country. And although I thought I was avoiding it, I had a change of plans and ended up in an archive in Poland on a Catholic holiday and wondered why the streets were deserted and no one came to the archive door. So it's good to plan those, find out the holidays, and national holidays are there, as well as the religious holidays, because many times the archives will be closed for those days.
Now, I remember you showing me one time a special little travel desk that you take to archives because there's no workspace. Maybe we'll put that down in the links because I thought that was very cool. It's very light and compact. Do you still take that?
I do. Most of the time I take it around here, but if I have room in my luggage to take it to foreign archives, I do the same thing. It folds down flat and square, and then it telescopes into a tall desk that you can have right beside you for your computer and everything, and it works really, really well when traveling.
Okay, folks, we're going to put the link to that nifty little thing. I've seen you use it, Luana, and I bought one based on that. I mean, it's literally like half an inch, 3/4 of an inch tall, and then just the size for your laptop to fit on. So, yeah, it's pretty cool little desk. All these links will be in show notes. And if you want to follow us, there's links to our blog. And tell them about subscribing, Valerie.
Okay, so we want you to subscribe by clicking on the little bell so you won't miss out anything that we share for you to have your own genealogy adventure. Thank you so much, Luana Darby, for being our guest today and giving us such great, helpful tips on maneuvering and making our ways through the archives.
Happy family tree climbing, everybody.
Hi.
Cheerio!